Ladies and gentlemen, listen up. There's something inside you that has been controlling you, holding you back, and preventing you from reaching your potential. And it's called fear. But here's the truth: fear is a lie. It's not real. It's a construct created by your mind to keep you stuck, to keep you playing small, and to stop you from achieving greatness. Fear convinces you that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not capable of going after what you truly want in life. But I'm telling you, that's all bullshit. Fear thrives on doubt, it thrives on insecurity, and it thrives on uncertainty. And I don't care how long you've been carrying it around, fear has no power unless you give it power. Every time you hesitate, every time you second guess yourself, fear wins. And let me tell you something, fear is the greatest obstacle to success you will ever face. If you want to be successful, if you want to reach the next level in your life, you have to defeat this monster. Because you're not going to get to greatness while fear is still in control. The people you admire, the people you look up to, they didn't make it by staying in their comfort zone. They didn't make it by sitting back and letting fear rule their lives. They took action despite fear. They didn't let fear define their outcomes. Here's the cold, hard truth: fear doesn't control you unless you let it. And you let it control you when you stop believing in yourself. You let it control you when you start doubting your own potential. But I'm here to tell you right now, you are in control. You control your fear. You control your responses. You control your actions. When you choose to push through fear, you take control of your life. You stop letting it call the shots. You start calling the shots. So stop making excuses. Stop blaming fear for why you're stuck. You have the power to change that. Fear only exists when you get complacent. When you stop pushing yourself, when you stop striving to be better, fear takes over. Complacency is like a welcome mat for fear to come in and take residence. It's when you stop challenging yourself that fear finds its way into your life. When you're comfortable, you stop growing, and when you stop growing, you stop living. Don't settle for where you are. Push yourself every day to be better, to do more, and to reach higher. Because if you don't, fear will settle in and it will paralyze you. Here's the kicker: you can't escape fear. You can't avoid it. The only way out is through. You have to face it. You have to confront it. You have to move through the fear with courage and action. Every time you feel that knot in your stomach, every time you hear that voice telling you to quit, you need to keep going. Keep pushing. Keep moving forward. Because the moment you do, fear loses its grip on you. It becomes a distant memory. But you've got to take action. You've got to step up and do the work. Fear is not your enemy if you learn how to handle it. Fear is your teacher, showing you where you need to grow, where you need to get stronger, where you need to dig deeper. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Embrace it. Use it. And break through it. Because once you do, nothing will ever be able to stop you again. Fear is a lie. Let that sink in for a moment. It's not real. It's a story your mind tells you to keep you from stepping into your true potential. Fear will show up in your life every time you're on the verge of a breakthrough. Every time you're on the cusp of achieving something great. And what does it say? You can't do it. You're not good enough. You'll fail. You'll get hurt. People will judge you. Fear is a liar. It preys on your insecurities, your doubts, and it thrives when you listen to it. Now think about it for a second. Has fear ever told you the truth? Has it ever guided you toward your success? No. It's always held you back. Fear tries to keep you small, to keep you in your comfort zone, and it tells you that what lies ahead is too risky, too dangerous, or too much to handle. But listen, you've survived every challenge, every obstacle, and every trial in your life up until now. You've overcome every single moment that tried to break you. And yet fear is still standing there telling you that you can't do the next thing. But here's the reality: fear doesn't have the power to stop you unless you give it permission. It can't control you unless you let it. You are the one in control. Your mind, your thoughts, and your beliefs are the keys to your freedom. You have the power to tell yourself the truth that you are capable, that you are strong, that you are meant for greatness. Fear might show up, but it has no place in your life if you refuse to listen to it. It has no authority over you unless you surrender to it. So why do we give in to fear? Because fear is designed to keep us safe, to prevent us from stepping into the unknown. But let me tell you this: the unknown is where your true potential lies. The unknown is where your dreams are waiting to be realized. When you break through fear, you unlock a power within you that you never even knew existed. It's only when you choose to face your fears head on, when you push through that discomfort, that you discover who you truly are. You can't let fear dictate your life. You can't let it be the reason you don't take action. When fear shows up, that's your cue to move forward. It's the universe's way of telling you this is where you grow. This is where you stretch. This is where you break through. The more you push against fear, the weaker it becomes. The more you step outside your comfort zone, the more you realize that fear is not as powerful as you thought. Think about all the times you've been afraid in the past. What happened? Did the worst case scenario come true? Did it stop you from achieving what you set out to do? No. More often than not, the things you feared never happened. The fear was just an illusion, a smokescreen that kept you from taking the steps you needed to take. And now looking back, you probably laugh at how much power you gave to those fears. They were nothing but shadows, nothing but whispers trying to keep you from moving forward. So the next time fear tries to creep into your life, remember it's a lie. It's a false story your mind is telling you. It's a lie that's been ingrained in you since childhood, telling you that you're not good enough, not strong enough, or not capable of achieving greatness. But you know what? You've been through too much, you've fought too hard, and you've proven yourself time and time again. Fear does not define you, you define you. And the truth is, you are unstoppable. You are more than capable of taking on whatever challenge is in front of you. Fear has no hold on you unless you let it. So stop letting it control your life. Stop letting it stop you from chasing your dreams, from stepping into your greatness. When you confront fear, you expose it for what it truly is: a lie. And once you see it for what it is, once you refuse to believe the lies, you will discover a power within you that is greater than anything fear could ever throw at you. Your dreams are on the other side of fear. Your success, your freedom, your happiness, they're all waiting for you to break through. And once you do, you'll look back and realize that fear was never the obstacle. You were always the one holding the keys to your own destiny. Fear is the greatest obstacle to success. It doesn't matter where you come from, how many resources you have, or who believes in you. The one thing that will hold you back more than anything else is fear. You see, fear doesn't need an invitation. It shows up uninvited in the form of doubt, insecurity, and hesitation. It creeps into your thoughts and tells you that you're not good enough, that you can't make it, that your dreams are too big for you. Fear will convince you that you should settle for less, that the life you desire is too far out of reach. But here's the truth: fear is a liar. Fear will tell you that you're not worthy of success, that the obstacles in front of you are too big to overcome. It will make you think that failure is permanent, that every mistake you make defines you. But if you allow fear to have the final say in your life, it will lock you into a cycle of mediocrity and regret. You'll look back one day and realize that you never tried, that you never fought for the greatness inside you. Understand this: every successful person you admire has faced fear. Every person you see thriving, living their dreams, and achieving their goals has had to confront the same fear that tries to control you. But what makes them different is that they didn't let fear dictate their actions. They didn't wait for the fear to go away before they took their first step. They took action despite the fear. They moved forward even when they were afraid. They understood that fear wasn't something to run from, it was something to move through. Fear will always be there, lurking in the shadows, trying to hold you back. But you've got to stop giving it power. You've got to stand up to it, you've got to acknowledge it, stare it down, and keep pushing forward. Because the truth is, fear only has as much control over you as you allow it to have. It's time to take back control. It's time to take action. It's time to stop making excuses and start making progress. Success doesn't come to those who never feel fear. It comes to those who refuse to let fear stop them. You'll never eliminate fear from your life. You can't, and you shouldn't. Fear is a natural part of growth. It means you're pushing yourself beyond your limits. It means you're on the verge of something big. But if you let it rule your decisions, if you let it dictate your actions, you'll stay stuck right where you are. You'll never reach the heights you were born to reach. I don't let fear be the reason you don't go after what you want. You have everything inside of you to conquer it. The fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, they're all temporary. They're all fleeting. But the regret of never trying, the regret of letting fear decide your future, that lasts forever. If you don't want to live a life full of what ifs, you've got to make the decision today to stop allowing fear to control you. You have to decide that fear will not be the reason you don't succeed. You are stronger than fear. You are capable of more than you know. But you have to be willing to face your fears head on and continue moving forward. Success is not about being fearless, it's about being willing to fail, to fall, and to get back up. Fear will always be there, but so is your power to overcome it. The choice is yours. Will you let fear control you, or will you take control of your fear and use it to fuel your success? The answer lies in your actions. Now, get moving. You control your fear. Let that sink in for a moment. Every single fear, every ounce of doubt, every moment of insecurity that you face is within your power to control. Fear doesn't have to dictate your life. It doesn't have to hold you back or keep you from achieving what you want. The only reason fear holds any power over you is because you've allowed it to. Let's face it, fear is nothing more than an illusion, a voice that says, you can't or you're not good enough. But if you take a step back, you'll realize that it's nothing more than a mental block, a psychological barrier that you can overcome. Every person who has ever accomplished anything significant in life has faced fear, but they didn't let it control them. They took fear, stared it right in the face, and said, not today, you are no different. You have the ability to conquer fear by recognizing it for what it is, just a thought. And guess what? You have the power to control your thoughts. You have the power to choose how you respond to those thoughts. Fear can try to hold you back, but it can't make you do anything. You make the decisions. You decide whether you give in to fear or whether you step forward and push through it. Fear comes in many forms: fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. But no matter what form it takes, it all stems from one thing: uncertainty. And uncertainty is where most people stumble. They get paralyzed by the what ifs and the maybes, but you have to realize the moment you allow fear to dictate your actions, you're giving up your power. Fear may knock on your door, but you don't have to answer it. Instead, you choose to walk with courage, to move forward even when you don't have all the answers, to take action even when things aren't perfect. When you control your fear, you stop being controlled by circumstances. You stop letting the fear of failure or rejection stop you from doing the things that will move you toward your dreams. Fear doesn't define you, your actions define you. And every time you act in spite of fear, you grow stronger, you grow bolder, you build resilience, and you become more powerful. Every challenge you face, every obstacle you overcome is another notch in your belt of strength. It's important to understand that controlling your fear doesn't mean eliminating it. Fear is a natural part of life. It's going to show up. But it's how you deal with it that matters. When you recognize that you have the power to control your response to fear, it loses its grip on you. You stop seeing it as something that holds you back and start seeing it as a signal that you're on the verge of growth. It's telling you that you're pushing boundaries, that you're about to level up. And the more you embrace that truth, the more unstoppable you become. Fear only has as much power over you as you allow it to. When you choose to believe in your ability to overcome, when you decide that nothing is going to stand in your way, that's when fear loses. That's when you take control of your life. Fear will always be a part of the journey. But as long as you remember this one truth, you control your fear, you will always be the one in charge. And when you're in control, there's nothing you can't do. Fear is the result of complacency. You see, fear doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. It doesn't just magically appear when you're trying to do something new, trying to step outside of your comfort zone. No, fear is the result of staying in a place that's too comfortable for too long. Fear thrives when we stop challenging ourselves, when we settle into routines that don't push us, when we stop growing. It's that moment when you start feeling safe, like things are okay just as they are. That fear begins to creep in and whisper, you've got it all figured out. There's no need to risk anything. Don't push yourself. Or complacency is like a slow poison. At first it feels good. You wake up, you go through the motions, you don't rock the boat, and everything seems fine. But what you don't realize is that every day you spend in that comfortable space, you're shrinking. You're shrinking your potential, your dreams, your ambition. You're telling yourself that it's okay to settle, that you don't need to stretch, to grow, to take that leap of faith. And as you settle, as you allow yourself to remain in a comfort zone, fear begins to grow because you stop moving forward. The more comfortable you get, the less your mind feels challenged. And that's when fear takes over. It tells you that you're too old to try something new. It says that you're not talented enough to pursue that dream. It convinces you that if you just stay where you are, you'll be okay. But the truth is, you won't be okay. Because deep down inside, you know you're capable of more. You know that you have more potential, more ambition, and more passion than what you're currently living. But it's easier to stay where you are. It's safer. And that's exactly why fear exists. It tells you that comfort is the answer. But comfort is an illusion. True growth happens when we push through discomfort. Fear is a sign that you are on the verge of something big. When you start feeling uncomfortable, when the fear begins to rise, it's a sign that you're pushing your boundaries. You're stretching your limits. That's when you know you're growing. If you keep saying no to discomfort, you're saying yes to fear. You're feeding it. And you're denying yourself the life that's waiting for you on the other side of it. Complacency doesn't just steal your ambition, it also robs you of your future. It tells you that there's no need for change. It tells you that things will just stay the same. But the world is constantly changing. If you refuse to adapt, to grow, to challenge yourself, fear will own you. It will take control and paralyze you into believing that you're not capable of achieving anything beyond your current reality. But here's the thing, you were never meant to settle. You were never meant to live in fear of failure. You were created to stretch, to grow, and to move beyond what you think is possible. So when fear knocks at your door, when it whispers that you can't do it, that you're not ready, know that it's not a sign of weakness, it's a sign that you're on the right path. Fear only exists when you're about to break through the barriers that have been holding you back. If you want to live a life that's bigger than your dreams, you have to stop letting fear grow in the comfort of complacency. You have to force yourself to get uncomfortable, to take risks, and to step into the unknown. That's how you crush fear. That's how you grow. And that's how you become the person you were always meant to be. So let me leave you with this: fear will always try to hold you back, but it's only a reflection of your potential. The moment you stop feeding complacency and start stepping into discomfort, that's the moment you'll see real growth. You'll start to realize that everything you've been afraid of is simply a stepping stone to your greatness. The more you push, the more you grow. And the more you grow, the less fear has a hold on you. So I challenge you today to stop settling. Stop letting fear control you. Embrace discomfort. Take that leap. Because when you do, you're not just breaking through fear, you're breaking through to the life you've always deserved. Keep pushing, keep growing, and watch how far you can go.